it up.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Scholarship Winners. Today with us we have our honorable guest Ramsha Iftikhar, who is direct with us from Australia, studying in University of North South Wales, Sydney. She will be providing us very insightful information about her journey getting to scholarship in Australia and many more. So today's episode will be very much special for the PhD scholarships, aspirants looking for the scholarship in Australia. So without a further ado, let's welcome our guest, Ramsha Iftikhar. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum Assalam. Thank you so much for inviting me for this session. And first of all, I will like to introduce myself. I am Ramsha Iftikhar, and a postgraduate research student at the School of Chemistry, University of New South Wales, Sydney. And to pursue my PhD studies, I have been awarded the University International Postgraduate Award, which is abbreviated as UIPA Award, and that was based on my previous academic and co-curricular activities and the research performance during my master's degree. And further, I am working as a casual academic as well as a mentor in my school to mentor the juniors from my own field. So I would like to guide all of you about any of the concerns about getting scholarship and admission in the UNSW. You people can ask me.
Okay, first of all, first question from my side is that what are the major credentials used for the required for the scholarship?
That we require for our scholarship is our strong attitude of our the whole resume, and all that you have to be strong in every portion of that. It doesn't mean like you have to get a higher CGPA and you will get a scholarship. For us to qualify a scholarship, you have to be strong in each and every portion of your resume. Other things like that demonstrates your actual skills in the life. Like, for example, if you have organized an event or you are involved in demonstrate your team working as well as collaboration and as a leadership skills. So you have to demonstrate that you have the best skills and you want to get to that scholarship when you are competing in a very tough environment where where the students from every corner of the world are applying to that place. You have to demonstrate that you are the best candidate. So apart from the academics, you should be your profile should be the diverse one and can stand out.
How can aspirant get the consent letter from the required person to whom he want to further proceed the PhD?
Okay, so the very first step is to get the first search about the supervisor or the potential supervisor according to your area. If I talk about the UNSW context, here the School of Chemistry is constituting almost 4 to 5 buildings. It's not only one institute. One institute is for the food science, one that's under the umbrella of chemistry, and one institute is for the photovoltaics, one institute is for only the computational one, and one institute for the chemical engineering field, and one institute for the organic chemistry, and some of the professors are carrying out the inorganic and organic chemistry work together in collaboration. So the very first thing you have to go for is to search according to your own field, according to your master's. If you are a computational student, you have to find a supervisor or the person that's working in a computational field or a related field to your master's work. Like if I can say, if you are a person whose master was in photovoltaics or fuel cells or the lithium batteries or like that, so you will potentially find a person who is working in that domain. Here professors are working in computational as well as synthesis, both side by side. So you don't have to be like too much precise to find a person with computational or the synthetic work. You can just grab from the website. You can just pick some of the supervisors which are working in your field, no matter it's computational or it's a synthetic work. So where you think that your field and the project of the supervisor is matching, you can email them, and if I can show you, I will share my screen. So I will show you from where you can check. Here is the main page of the School of Chemistry, and from here you can find the different things like about the university rating, that's the matter for all of the students. Like we check at which ranking our university stands when we try to apply. So UNSW is first in Australia and 19th in the world, and it's in the top 50 universities. So from here we can navigate all of the news that are going on our department related to our on like research and all that. After that we have there are several kind of things like chemistry, medicinal chemistry, and the further ones. So study different kind of study areas. For the PhD students, here the PhD students are called the higher degree by research students or postgraduate research degree. So from there we can navigate different of kinds. Like from the main page, I will go to the directory. So here is a profile for all of the academics and staff. Like here, professional and technical staff, academic and research staff. So we will go there. So here are the names of all of the professors that are here along with their role and their titles.
Okay,
so here
after
is a complete
getting
list.
the consent letter from the required professor,
Yep.
what the steps? What are the further steps to get or good or achieve the good scholarships from the University of North South Wales or any other university in Australia?
Okay. Usually, the main three scholarships, RTP, UIPA, and TFS, are open throughout the Australian universities, and the procedure is almost the same. So, the very first step is to get the acceptance from the potential supervisor. After getting the acceptance letter from the supervisor, we can start our application, which is called the admission application on the website of the university. And when you get the acceptance letter, the supervisor will also guide you to that specific kind of website in the whole portal, where you form a specific portal for your by email and your password, and it's a password protected website where you upload all of your documents. It's all about like filling a application for the admission, and you don't have to apply for the scholarship in a separate application. Just you have to tick the box for that you want to be considered for the scholarship, and you're done.
Is it the same procedure for the fully funded and for the partially funded scholarship, or the other way around?
Actually, the three scholarships that are funded by the Australian government or Australian university, they are the fully funded. Like they cover our tuition fees, they cover the living stipend, and all of the accommodation and all the things. We don't need to worry about anything. Like for the partially funded, the process for the Pakistani student is through the HEC. So it's a bit different one. For the partially funded, HEC will cover like I will show you. HEC is in collaboration with the UNSW, and they in this case, HEC provide the annual living allowance and our return ticket fare only, and the UNSW will provide the stipend and also the tuition fees to the university. So it will be the total amount will be the equal to the fully funded scholarships. Just there are the two routes that will give you the money in different ways, but the overall money will be the equal to the fully funded ones. We have to wait for the ad. We have to clear the GAT, and after that we can apply to the university and mention there that HEC is sponsoring our scholarship.
Okay, like other countries, there are the many expenses before going to the required country and pursue their studies. What are the total amount of the before going to the scholarship?
For initial documentations and all that, we require almost like we have to clear the IELTS with the 6.5 higher than 6.5 bands for the School of Chemistry in UNSW and almost all of the universities of Australia. So these expenses are just beyond the scholarship, like scholarship process. You have to do this before starting your application, because the very first thing they will your supervisor will ask about your IELTS scores and your degrees and all that. These are just side expenses. About the expenses involved in the scholarship process, our application fee is just waived to zero because we are higher degree by research students. So there is no application fees for UNSW, but there are application fees for several other universities like ANU and other. So it varies from university to university. After getting scholarship, you have to cover the health cover for the 5 years, and that almost cost about 5 lakh to 5.5 lakh Pakistani rupees. So you have to cover it by yourself, and if your scholarship covers it, you will be returned it after getting scholarship, but not before that. So another thing, you have to apply for your visa, and for the higher degree by research visa, it's about $650, and that's all. I think there are not any other
The lump
expenses.
sum amount is about round about 8 to 9 lakh Pakistani rupees.
Yes.
Okay. Over to you, Narmeen.
Thank you, Naila, and thank you, Ramsha, for such an informative talk. So, firstly, I just want to ask why Australia?
Because
Sorry to interrupt. And
Sorry.
why the further like persons who are looking for the scholarships, why they choose, especially in chemistry, why they should consider this university or this scholarship for their considerations?
I think it depends from person to person, like their own priorities and their own selection. For me, it was because the ranking of the university is going higher and higher day by day. And here, like it's at the number 1 in Australia and at the number 19 in the world. Compared to other German or other European universities, its ranking was higher, and this was the perspective at the time of application. But when I come here, the culture, the diversity, and acceptance in the people really inspired me. They respect everyone, there is no bias, and they accept you as it is, and there's too much learning. The environment is safe and friendly, and the workspace is also safe and friendly, and you don't feel like you are from the Pakistan or any other region. All the people in the workplace respect you, respect your boundaries, they respect your views. Supervisors and the other students, either they are honor students or postgraduate research students or PhD students, they treat everyone equally and they accept your opinions, they respect you, and that's all. The environment here is too much safe regarding to chemistry. If we look towards the Pakistan or the perspective that we go through during our master degrees, we were not safe, like our daily exposure to chemicals, our solvents and all that. Here, the safety matters. Here, the value of the human is more than anything else. Like even if we get a pinch of syringe, we have to report that we encountered this hazard, and they take into account, and all that is they are too much concerned about your safety. They give you training before using any kind of chemical, and the environment is good for your health, and as well as the environment is stress friendly, and like everyone compensates. There is a balance between work and your personal life. You don't work on the weekends, you just work from 9 to 5 during the work days, and there's no pressure, no peer pressure or no supervisor pressure or like not a stress. So I think it's the best option. For the other students, I will recommend they can consider other options too. But if they are getting higher and higher, I didn't prefer USA for myself because there is a lot of bias and people are not too much friendly. But here in Australia, there's a it's a multicultural country, and the people from every corner are here and they respect each other, and that's beautiful.
What will be your tips towards the students who are approaching to the supervisors in foreign countries like yours or like others, Manash or others? What
Yes.
will be your tips? What will be the do's and don'ts to approach professor?
Okay, I think make your email concise one. Just talk to the point. Focus on the subject line of your email. Your objective should be clear there. Most of the time, after coming here, I realized that they're the only medium of connection between the students and the professionals and the supervisors is the email. So every day, if I can show you my email box, we get 200 to 300 emails every day. So we have to go through all of them. Some of are related to our work, some are safety. So your email title should be the concise one. Most of the time, we just ignore the emails by reading their subject line. So the subject line should be the clear one. If it clicks your supervisors, he will open your email and read it and go through your email and will reply you. And if he is not looking for the new students or any kind of like thing, so he will not read your email or it will get down and down. So very first thing is to make your subject line clear. The second thing is we say dear professor or dear professor XYZ. So don't do dear, just put hi and his name, because here we call everyone by his name. We don't call him sir, professor, doctor, anything else. So they are too much concerned about their titles and their names. So use their name directly. And after that, in the very first paragraph, introduce yourself just in one line. You can mention that you have completed this degree and that's your name. In the second line, just mention why you are writing your email, because they are running short of time and they don't read long emails. So in the third line, you can say that you are particularly interested in his project XYZ that you can find from his profile or his articles and like that. So in the fourth line, you will say that I am attaching my resume. You can read that. You don't need to put all of your academic and co-curricular details in the email. You will just attach your resume in the email. If he will be interested, he will read your resume and will reply.
A fresh grad is considering doing a scholarship in a foreign country. So what will be your suggestions to him or her, to what kind of activities she should consider so that she can get a scholarship easily?
I think resume is the thing that presents you in front of a third person, like you are not present, and every impression that's going to your supervisor or the third person who is reading it, your resume, it will be the thing that you have written in the resume. So I think uh, you don't need to be engaged in too much big activities or like getting too far from your actual pathway or actual study pathway. Actually, we get involved in several of the little things, but we don't consider them actually. For example, in any of the program or organizing event in your department, you were in organizing committee or in the registration committee or in that committee. In your resume, just you mention that I organized that event, for example, an event XYZ. But you don't have to mention that you organized. You have to mention that what skills you used in organizing that event. Like you can mention that I worked in a team, so you demonstrate that you have the ability to teamwork. That's really important in research perspective. When you work in PhD, you have to work with teams and in collaboration. So you have to pick up the skills and write them in one paragraph, like 1 to 2 lines. That 2 lines should include all of the skills that you have used during the organization of the event or all that. I think the main reason most of the students get failure from this step is their resume is not that much strong that it should be. We just mention in one word, I have completed this course, but we don't tell that in this course we learned this skill, and we should mention all of those skills. And they are interested in skills, not our certifications or not our degrees and all that. Even if the very important portion is of the publications and research publications, we can say more precisely. So whenever you attend an interview from in with any supervisor, he will ask you about the work. He will not ask you about the impact factor of your publication. He will ask about how you achieved this, how you do this, how you did the purification, how you perform the analysis, how you uh, analyze the results or all that. He is looking for the skills in you, not actual the results or the actual draft of the paper.
Over to my fellows. If they have any question, Shahid and Tawqir, they can ask.
Thank you, Narmeen, and thank you, Miss Ramsha, for the time. I think
Okay.
most of the part of questions are covered in three questions. One of the questions which is very close to my heart is how do you manage the financial aspects of living or studying in abroad?
Actually, my scholarship is funding my whole things. My tuition fees is covered by the UNSW itself, and UNSW is giving me the living stipend, and I can easily manage in that portion. And I have also savings and a good lifestyle and all that. When you are getting a full scholarship, you don't have to worry about the finances portion. That's a very good point.
Ma'am, what resources or sports you have received from scholarship program or the host institutions?
Uh, I think it's about my scholarship was including my health cover for the 5 years, my initial ticket from Pakistan to Australia, and after that, it's covering my whole stipend, like 35,000 per year, and that's more than enough for me to manage a good lifestyle. I can live even if I want, I can live within the university. That's a more expensive option, but I am living in an area that's far away from the university just due to my own concern that I want to live in a Muslim area. So the scholarship is more than enough. And after that, if you want to work, you're allowed to work, and your supervisors will give you permission, and they're open to this that students should work, and everyone here works, and we are not having any time limitations for work for our PhD visas. So we can work, and I am working as a casual academic, and that's not a full-time job, it's a part-time job. So I have to manage like 2 to 3 hours in a week, and that will polish your skills overall, like communication skills and your own subject skills and like that. And that's totally optional. If you want to do it, you can do it, and if you don't want, you can only just continue your PhD. It's all depends on you.
While living in abroad, like you have networking opportunities or connections that you have made. So आप दो या तीन और स्टूडेंट्स को मतलब बुला सकती हैं अपने behalf पे?
एट द मोमेंट मैं एक सुपरवाइजर नहीं हूँ। मैं एक खुद पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट रिसर्च स्टूडेंट हूँ। ऑल्दो मेरा एक अपना ऑफिस है, मेरी अपनी एक लैब है, लेकिन फिलहाल जो है वो मैं किसी स्टूडेंट को स्पॉन्सरशिप नहीं दे सकती, क्योंकि मैं अभी जो है वो कैजुअल एकेडमिक के तौर पर वर्क कर रही हूँ। जब मैं एक परमानेंट फैकल्टी मेंबर हो जाऊंगी तो मे बी मैं कर सकती हूँ, लेकिन अभी मैं एक स्टूडेंट को सुपरवाइज जरूर कर रही हूँ, लेकिन वो मुझे को सुपरवाइज कर रही हूँ। लाइक आई डोंट हैव माई ओन फंडिंग or grants or like that. Whenever I will have, and I can also sponsor some of the students.
Okay. सो माय लास्ट क्वेश्चन के अगर कोई स्टूडेंट अपनी ग्रेजुएशन में है और उसको आज पता चल रहा है कि कोई स्कॉलरशिप ऑस्ट्रेलिया में फुली फंडेड मिल रही है, तो सबसे पहली जो आप उसको एडवाइस करेंगे, मतलब वो सबसे पहले किस चीज़ पे अपनी ना वो वर्किंग स्टार्ट करेगी?
जरूरी नहीं है कि आप इसी टर्म में अप्लाई करें। ऑस्ट्रेलिया में एक साल के अंदर 3 टर्म्स होती हैं, ये 3 सेमेस्टर होते हैं। हम किसी भी सेमेस्टर के अंदर अप्लाई कर सकते हैं और किसी भी सेमेस्टर के अंदर आके अपनी पीएचडी स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। हमारे लिए टाइम की कंपल्शन नहीं होती पीएचडी स्टूडेंट के लिए या ओवरऑल डिग्रीज के लिए। ये सिर्फ पाकिस्तान का सिस्टम है कि साल में एक दफ़ा एडमिशन होते हैं, उसके बाद अगले साल एडमिशन होंगे। यहाँ पे आप किसी भी टर्म के लिए अप्लाई करते हैं तो उसके बाद आपको एक जो 3 महीने की टर्म होती है उसके बाद आपको स्कॉलरशिप की आउटकम का पता लगता है कि आपको स्कॉलरशिप मिला है या नहीं मिला। उसके बाद ही आपके पास तकरीबन 6 महीने से 1.5 साल तक का टाइम होता है कि आप उसमें वीज़ा अप्लाई करें। वीज़ा भी काफ़ी टाइम लेता है, तो आप बआसानी मुकम्मल कर सकते हैं अपनी ग्रेजुएशन को अगर आप अप्लाई करना चाहते हैं। आप अपनी सुपरवाइजर की अप्रूवल अभी से लेना स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा टाइम लगता है। सॉरी, तकरीबन 6 माह से 3 माह तक के टाइम, 3 से जो है 6 माह तक का टाइम इसीलिए लग जाता है। और अगर आपको एक्सेप्टेंस मिल जाती है तो आपके सुपरवाइजर आपको साथ साथ गाइड करना स्टार्ट कर देंगे कि आप अपनी एप्लीकेशन को किस तरह से मुकम्मल कर सकते हैं या किस तरह से कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं। अगर आप डायरेक्ट रूट से अप्लाई करते हैं तो आपको डिग्री के कंप्लीट होने का वेट नहीं करना पड़ेगा। आप उससे पहले भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं अपने डीएमसी की बेस पे। ज़रूरी नहीं कि आपकी डिग्री आपके हाथ में हो उस वक्त, आप डिग्री उसके बाद भी ले सकते हैं। तो ये थोड़ा लॉन्ग टर्म प्रोसेस है, इसमें थोड़ी पेशेंस और थोड़ा टाइम लगता है, लेकिन वीज़ा भी आजकल पाकिस्तानी स्टूडेंट का काफ़ी टाइम ले रहा है।
अगर कोई मास्टर्स के लिए या पीएचडी के लिए जाना चाहता है तो क्या सबसे पहले उसे करना चाहिए? एक्सेप्टेंस लेटर लेना चाहिए या डॉक्यूमेंट्स कौन कौन से चाहिए होते हैं, ये सारा कुछ ना एक दफ़ा समराइज कर दें।
डॉक्यूमेंट्स आपको सबसे पहले अपनी डिग्रीज और अपनी जो डिटेल मार्क्स सर्टिफिकेट हैं वो कंप्लीट चाहिए होंगे। उसके अलावा आपको आईएलटीएस का स्कोर होना चाहिए आपके पास इस वक्त आप अपने सुपरवाइजर को ईमेल लिख रहे हो, क्योंकि वेरी नेक्स्ट स्टेप पे अगर वो आपको वीडियो के लिए बुलाते हैं, वीडियो मीटिंग के लिए बुलाते हैं, तो वो सबसे पहले आपके आईएलटीएस स्कोर को एवेल्युएट करेंगे। उसके बाद सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट डॉक्यूमेंट अपना आपके पास रेज्यूमे होना चाहिए जो कि आपका तैयार हो जब आप सेंड करना स्टार्ट करें अपनी और किसी भी एप्लीकेशन के लिए। आपको सबसे पहली चीज़ जो आपके रेज्यूमे है वो चाहिए होता है। उसके अलावा आपके पास 2 रिकमेंडेशन लेटर्स होने चाहिए। अब वो आपके कोई भी वर्क कोलीग्स भी हो सकते हैं, प्रेफरेबली एक वर्क कोलीग और दूसरे आपके जो मास्टर्स के जो हैं सुपरवाइजर हैं वो होने चाहिए। उसके अलावा कोई ख़ास डॉक्यूमेंट्स नहीं हैं, बस यूएनएसडब्ल्यू की एप्लीकेशन के लिए यही डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं जो आपको एसेंशली रिक्वायर्ड हैं। इसके अलावा आपके कोई को करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज़ हैं या कोई एक्स्ट्रा एक्टिविटीज़ हैं, उनके सर्टिफिकेट्स जो हैं वो साथ अटैच होंगे। आपका कोई एक्सपीरियंस है कोई टीचिंग का या आपके वर्क से रिलेटेड कोई किसी इंडस्ट्री का, तो वो आप साथ में उसका एक्सपीरियंस लेटर अटैच करेंगे। और बस ये स्कैन फॉर्म में डॉक्यूमेंट्स अटैच होते हैं, आपको हार्ड कॉपी सबमिट करवाने की ज़रूरत नहीं होती। और रिसर्च प्रपोजल एक इम्पॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट होता है जो कि आप खुद से अपना टाइटल प्रपोज करते हैं उसको फर्स्ट मीटिंग में कि आप कौन से प्रोजेक्ट पे वर्क करना चाहेंगे। और उसके बाद आपको एक टाइमलाइन दी जाती है, उसके अंदर आप अपना रिसर्च प्रपोजल कंप्लीट करते हैं और आपके सुपरवाइजर उसको एप्लीकेशन सबमिशन से पहले एवेल्युएट करते हैं, उसमें प्लेजरिज्म नहीं होना चाहिए। और उसके बाद वो आपकी एडमिशन की एप्लीकेशन के साथ वो रिसर्च प्रपोजल जो है वो आपका अटैच होता है। उसके अलावा कोई खास डॉक्यूमेंटेशन रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है।
स्टडी प्लान और रिसर्च प्रपोजल एक ही चीज़ होता है ये दोनों?
ऑलमोस्ट रिसर्च प्रपोजल में मेनली आपका जो है वो ज़्यादा कंसाइज वे में आपका रिसर्च का प्लान होता है कि आप रिसर्च जो है किस टॉपिक पे करेंगे, किस डोमेन में करेंगे और आप किस तरह से उसको 3.5 ईयर्स के अरसा के अंदर कंप्लीट करेंगे।
अगर हम मास्टर्स के लिए जाना चाह रहे हो तो फिर भी आर्ट्स की ज़रूरत होती है और ये रिसर्च प्रपोजल की भी ज़रूरत होती है तब भी?
जी, ये आपके सुपरवाइजर आपको गाइड करते हैं एक्सेप्टेंस के बाद। आप इनिशियली अपना टाइटल खुद प्रपोज करते हैं, लेकिन अगर उनके पास उन्हें लगे कि इस प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर कोई जगह नहीं है तो आप खुद से एक टॉपिक जो है वो सजेस्ट कर देते हैं कि आप इस टॉपिक पे रिसर्च प्रपोजल बनाएंगे।
Okay. Thank
थैंक
you
यू।
so much for your time, for having us and in a long section. Thank you so much.
Add it up.